So the Japanese are gatekeeping Pokemon now. They're going to ask you quiz questions before you're allowed to buy cards. Make sure you're not a scalper.
Yeah, at least at one store.
So that's actually kind of funny, but also here in America, that would be incredibly problematic because how dare you gatekeep fandom?
That's right.
When you've got grown-ass men beating
and
each other up,
women.
shooting each other, killing each other, attempting to kill each other, robbing each other.
Yeah, someone got shot the other day. Someone that had the car, their cart got hit with the car and they ran over the inventory. It's insane. Fist fights, constant fist fights. I just saw a video that the scalper tapes this woman and trying to own her. But it was some woman who was trying to get, like, I think just one of each for her kid or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, you jump line. The whole lot of us waiting in line is they're loading their cart with everything. And she went around and just grabbed a couple off the shelf and she took them. And she just, like, I think she was getting them for her kid who was at school. And he's like, well, you need to get here earlier then. As they take everything and they're mad because the woman who wanted it for her kid was grabbing a couple off the shelf and they couldn't take all of them.
It's like Turbo Man.
It's insane.
It's Pokemon. It's Turbo Man. Pokemon.
I know. It's just insane.
You can't catch them all if you can't catch any of them because it's scalpers are catching them.
So that's what's happening. And then there's you can pay. You just pay 3 times more online, and it's getting out of hand. And they were putting limits in some places, but like there was a Costco video, and they had limits in of 10. They were putting 10 each. Well, that's an awful lot. It should have been limited to like 2 or 3. So what they were doing is they were coming and grabbing cases of, there was 151 packages available. Since the limit was 10 each, 15 people walked out with all 10, and it was literally cleared in like under 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's crazy. So let's talk about this, and we're going to talk about some other stuff. I talked about it in a short, but we'll probably mention again that Nintendo's really cracking down on Pokemon and Pokemon adjacent YouTubers. They actually copyright struck the PokéNational, which is a pretty popular YouTube channel where basically they do like nature documentaries about different Pokemon, and it's all, for fun. It's not, there's nothing wrong. But
what it does is increase the people's interest in Pokemon. So it's actually to their benefit if people are out there making content that is causing people to be more and more interested in actual Pokemon.
Right. And I think what could potentially happen, one of the reasons I think Nintendo's so crazy with the Pokemon IP enforcement is because of the popularity of the cards. Because did you notice that like we had years where this kind of stuff was up there? Let's plays. Yes. Nobody cared. It was like, it was cool. Oh,
now they have Pokopia. Pokopia. I can't ever say it right. Yeah. Our son loved that one. That's all popular now.
Yeah.
So,
but
we're coming after this right around the time Pokopia comes out.
I would be afraid to be a Pokemon Let's Player at this point because I think they're going to go after anybody, and especially the demonetization stuff. So that's a whole nother thing.
Repetitive images or whatever.
Repetitive images. Yeah. It's like they just keep saying the same thing over and over again. Bulbasaur. What the?
I know, right?
It sounds like AI. Yeah. So they're definitely trying to ramp up, their legal team to clamp down on the IP because I think of the popularity of the cards, in part. So let's talk about all of this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
So if you want more of us, you can get more for less than the cost of your average super chat. You can get access to our paywalled content at more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com. And thank you very much for the support.
Yeah, we don't live stream a lot, so
we don't live stream, no. Instead. So look, you just go out and look for Pokemon heist, Pokemon theft, Pokemon whatever.
Oh, there's a bunch of upswing on different Pokemon like stores getting robbed. I know someone got shot a couple weeks ago. They put a tracker on someone's car. Oh my God, yeah. Man shot after cutting the line for Pokemon cards at Kroger's. It's all over a Pokemon machine. Damn. Yeah, literally, if you have to fear, like, I'm going to go in and get this for my kid, but if I step in the wrong way or move to the wrong place or grab something that the scalper's mad about, you could literally get punched, shot, kicked, whatever, have your cart hit with a car and everything else and then run over it just because they're mad that someone else got something and they didn't get so they could resell it.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is a whole new level of crazy here. But they do have machines because they actually had a machine. I did a short on that. They have a machine in the Pentagon. They have a Pokemon card machine.
Yes, and actually we found that out from our son, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like, wait, what? That's insane, right? So anyway, the Japanese, they're gatekeeping. A Japanese store has come up with a fun way to combat Pokemon card scalpers. They're going to force you to pass a quiz before they're allowed to buy. This comes from IGN. And in comics circles, I remember people get very, very salty if you'd get the quiz, which is, what kind of a fan are you? Did you watch a Batman movie or have you actually read Batman comics? And we're going to throw all kinds of questions at you. And I know there for a while, that was a huge talking point in nerd spaces, is like, it's not fair that we're being quizzed about how much we know about the thing when we go to the shop or the game store.
In this case, I think people are actually supporting it because this is making sure that collectors are getting the cards and not the scalpers. So I think normally people have a problem with it, but a lot of people are actually celebrating this choice because it's, now, unfortunately, if you're a new collector, you're not going to maybe know all this stuff. Or like other people pointed out, if you're a parent and you want to get your kids cards for their birthday or something, you probably aren't gonna be able to pass the quiz either. So, there are downsides, but a lot of people are like, well, good, because then it makes sure it gets into the hands of the collectors and not the scalpers.
Is it going to be like the floor where the questions are really softball? Like, what?
Oh, I know. It's ridiculous. It's
a Pokeball.
Floor. We're going to do gaming, but it's a controller. It's a gaming
Oh, my God.
chair.
The worst I've ever seen. We were watching it the other night, and they had a quote-unquote train expert, and she didn't know what a caboose was.
Or a railroad crossing.
Or railroad crossing.
To be fair, though, she was from Hawaii, so
yes, but why is she a train expert if they don't have trains?
They assign categories sometimes, as our son said. But anyway, back to this.
Anyway,
so that's what they're doing now. And apparently, if after you buy it, if you buy a box from me, they also cut the packaging so that you can't resell it.
Okay, well, that's, I guess that's pretty smart. So eventually you're going to need like to scan your iris or something. So Japanese electronics giant Bic Camera is making life tricky for those seeking to cash in on Pokemon cards, according to IGN. To deter scalpers, a branch in Tokyo now has a written Pokemon quiz that customers have to pass in order to buy the Ninja Spinner expansion. So ex-user Ryo Saiba uploaded a photo of a poster explaining the restrictions on the sale of Pokemon cards at the camera store. They applied the Pokemon TCG set Ninja Spinner, a Japan-only ninja-themed expansion released in March that features Mega Evolution Pokemon. Big bucks on eBay. Has some special rares. Has a high ratio of secret rares. And it's a hot purchase for Pokemon collectors. And, of course, scalpers.
Number one, scalpers.
Scalpers first. Yeah. I mean, this is crazy. They're like weighing the card packs now. And it's weird to see middle-aged men fight over packs of Pokemon cards. It's weird to see Pokemon cards popular in 2026, more popular in 2026 than they were in the 90s.
Well, hey, to be fair, though, I see people weighing a lot of blind bag collectibles or asking what the weights are so they can try to find the ones they want. Unless you want the Strawberry Shortcake LOL dolls. If you go online, there are little pinholes in the plastic, and depending on what the pinhole is, that's what one's in the container.
Yeah, they're tricks. We used to, with the blind bags, we used to be able to like feel around inside.
Well, they make sure you can't now.
Yeah, they put like a cardboard sleeve on, but it used to be like, okay, this one has a hat, like a pointy hat, so this is the one we want. But they said, as extra safeguards against resellers, the store also requires that Pokemon card box purchasers have a loyalty account with the camera chain. They also removed the shrink wrap from the outer box and open it.
They remove the shrink wrap and open it, yeah.
Preventing scalpers from reselling it sealed.
Cut the wrap. Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah.
A successful test taker reported that the store staff came up with an easy quiz that anyone who likes Pokemon could answer. It was exciting and fun to do while we were waiting, and the staff said congratulations when I passed, which made me happy. Instead of asking customers to explain the rules of the game, some questions are reportedly even as simple as, what's the name of the Pokemon on the box?
So they're making it relatively easy, but you think scalpers, if they're doing this, they would have at least some knowledge.
Well, yeah, so that's the thing. Actually, I'm wondering if in some cases the scalpers have more knowledge because they're going to be like, oh, that's a really super rare one that I want that's going to sell for a lot of money on eBay.
Well, here's something.
That's Bling-a-Chew.
Bling-a-Chew. Well, I wonder what happened here. There was arrest of 2 prolific Vietnamese Pokemon scalpers in Japan.
Wow, yeah, it said number of Japanese posts on X framed Bic Camera's Pokemon quiz as a victory over Vietnamese and Chinese scalpers. Oh my God, so then that's going to get into a whole...
Oh my God. See also our other video.
See also our other video. No. This is gatekeeping because, I remember...
They have to be able to speak Japanese to take the quiz.
Other camera stores nationwide have also implemented restrictions on Pokemon card sales with purchase limits and rules varying by location. Let's see. They had.
I'm sorry. You said about gatekeeping or whatever. What was funny to me was that post that we saw the picture of about them earlier above was in French. So you have to gatekeep twice because you have to speak, get it in Japanese, but you also have to read the post in French to be able to understand.
Well, I said there's no quiz, but buyers must present a Japanese driver's license or my number tax ID card, which is essentially limits purchases to those who live in Japan. So apparently the problem is people coming. Okay, so this is the Japanese are xenophobic, guys. They're xenophobic. They're trying to keep the foreigners out.
Don't give them more fuel for the fire.
I noticed that they're not going there because we just did another video. I'm not sure which order these are going to run in. The other one will probably be first. But we talked about how Reddit is having a meltdown because they think the Japanese are xenophobic. And now they're like, well, you have to have a valid driver's license. It's like, boy, if only we'd do something like that here in the U.S. for really important things.
That's right. You can't even buy cards in Japan without ID.
You can't even buy Pokemon cards in Japan.
Vote.
But you can come over here and vote. Yeah, I mean, come on. This is crazy. Crimes involving Pokemon cards have been on the rise in Japan and elsewhere in recent years, including card buying scams using the oldest trick in the book. Last year, Pokemon card shop in Japan made the news for getting robbed of $92,000. In
the U.S. too, they've gotten robbed severely.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you want to talk about Nintendo being crazy, and that'll take us into our next story. But Nintendo reached out to the Manhattan store that got robbed. And then they turned around and they slapped them with a cease and desist for using Pokestop.
They had to change their name.
They had to change their name. Like, hey guys, sorry you got robbed, but also our lawyers, they're not real
Change
happy
your
with
name.
you. Change your name. Sorry about that. So they talked about that, the New York one, and they had 50 people were held hostage there. So we'll just talk about this real quick. Yeah, the PokéNational
Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards.
People realize it's cartoon art printed on cardboard, right?
Well, people keep saying this, that there's a shortage, right? But they can make as many as they want. I mean, they can't. They want to make sure that there's collector market for it. Yeah. The thing happened with what was the Disney card game? They had
Lorcana.
Lorcana.
Yeah.
Yeah. They originally, same thing happened. Scalpers bought it all out, and all that stuff. So they just made another version of it. They just reprinted the cards, pretty much the same.
Oh my God.
People were mad because they're like, I worked really hard to scalp all that shit. Now you're going to make it worthless,
So people are not happy about this. The PokéNational getting taken down. I guess it had a lot of fans. It was like, I know the channel had over 100,000 subscribers. And the guy's like, I have to take all my videos down. I can't repost them anywhere because Nintendo's insane. And people are like, this is crazy. Like, why on earth would anyone strike these videos down? They made their own models and content. They were some of the most interesting Pokemon videos on the site. And they said, well, the problem is the video maker was earning money through Patreon, according to Nintendo. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think Nintendo, if it's too good, I think they're like, you know what, or they're coming up with something similar. They're probably like, oh, we're doing a new Pokemon Snap game, and this kind of looks like that. We can't have that. But they're whoever they hired. I mean, I don't know if they're in-house lawyers or whatever, but I remember they used to give people a pass. Like I remember there's a webcomic. It was like a Smash Brothers webcomic, and it made a whole bunch of money on Kickstarter, and they let that fly. They're like, yeah, we don't really care. And now it's just like, oh, anything even Pokemon adjacent looks too much like Pokemon.
Yeah, then we're gonna have to, and then we're gonna retroactively try to claim that some of our things should be trademarked, so you can't use them. Yeah,
right. So anyway, there we go, guys. So better bone up on your if you're going to Japan. You better bone up on your Pokemon lore because you might get quizzed. They should do that here. They should. We're gonna wrap it up.
I don't think it's right. I think there's going to be too many issues with that because there are going to be a lot of people who just want to buy it for their kids. Like they could quiz me and I wouldn't probably get half of it right.
Ageism. That's what it is. Ageism. All right. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.